I have to write a book, but I have no idea how or where to even start the process of writing a book, so I bought books. And no AI allowed. These books? No, these are my wife's books, but we'll come back to that later. I bought these books and those manga. I'm not sure where the manga will be on the green screen, so I'm just gonna point here and hope you see them. I started my quest the way all quests start in modern life, with a Google search. And after extensive research, I found what I thought was a pretty good starting point. Read the type of book you want to write. I like fantasy. I'm talking complex magic systems, adventure, high stakes, great world building. The result? Brandon Sanderson is deemed as one of the best world builders in modern fantasy. Robin Hobb has some of the best prose in modern fantasy. Her or Patrick Rothfuss, I hear. I chose Robin so I could get a perspective from a different type of author, diversity and all that. For Brandon Sanderson, I chose the Stormlight Archive. Jesus, is hard to hold with one hand. Which, to be honest, I kind of regret, only due to the sheer girth of these books. I mean, look at these things. Here, let me take one out. That's staying in there. Look at this thing, man. Random side note here. If you do buy the Stormlight Archive, get the digital book or the thicker hardbacks. The mass market paperback is falling apart. I just dropped my book and like the binding splintered and a page fell out. Like the book's gonna fall apart with me trying to show you. Oh shit. Yeah, those books are too big for mass market paperback. For Robin Hobb, I went with the first 3 books in her Assassin's trilogy. And look at these things. I can hold them with one hand. They're like half the size of the first 3 books in the Stormlight Archive. Jeez. It takes a lot more than just reading to learn how to write. You have to learn how to write, how to approach building a story. And that led me to one of the biggest debates in writing. Outlining versus freeballing, or free writing. There are some authors known for thoroughly outlining their stories before they write them, like Brandon Sanderson or J.K. Rowling. What? Get him out of here. It's all good. I separate the art from the artist. Sometimes. You also have authors that are known for letting the story write itself as they write through the story, like Stephen King. Fun fact, authors that do this are known as pantsers because they're writing by the seat of their pants. I prefer my term freeballing, but to each their own. And so I was faced with another problem. How do I know which approach was best for me? I don't. So I bought 2 more books. So I went with Stephen King's On Writing, which focuses more on the freeballing approach and his overall thoughts on the process of writing. He also says that people who don't read books shouldn't write books, so at least I'm doing something right. I also picked up Save the Cat Writes a Novel. This focuses on a structured 14-beat 3-act story and tells you what should appear and when. Great book for the structured approach to writing. At this point, all I've done is spend money. And yes, it has tricked my brain into thinking that I've actually made progress with writing, but the real work starts now. I need to read and I need to write. For those curious, I'm going to be doing my writing in an app called Obsidian. There's really no difference what or where you write your book. I just like Obsidian because it feels like a code editor, so it's cozy to me. And if you have a widescreen monitor, you can do this cool thing where you have multiple tabs open and you can look at your notes for the story and the chapter that you're working on. And it also saves locally to your computer, and then you can sync it across your devices. So if I have a random idea occur to me while I'm at work or out on the road, I can just put it in from my phone and boom, there it is. To build the habit of writing, I'm holding myself to writing 500 words a day. Now, it's not a whole lot, but that's the point. I can write more if I need to, but I'm always showing up for my 500 words. I also try to keep my writing time consistent every day. I either do it right after my workout or after my post-workout gaming session. Just depends on the kind of day I've been having so far. I've split my daily reading up into 2 separate blocks. And again, I tried to insert them around things I was already doing. Again, working out and sleeping. I do my first 1-hour block after I drink my pre-workout and I'm waiting to get my lift in. I like to read nonfiction during this time window because I'm so wired up on caffeine and whatever else is in my pre-workout that it's not going to put me to sleep. And sometimes nonfiction, it might put me to sleep. I sneak in my other 1-hour reading block at bedtime. That's when I read my fiction. And it can be pretty dangerous reading something like the Stormlight Archive before bed, especially if you're near one of the end of the books, because that 1 hour block will turn into a 3 hour block and a long day at work the next day if you're not careful. Unless it's a Dalinar chapter, because then I'm just going to go to sleep. It's impossible to stick to doing something like this unless you know why you're doing it. I've been a daydreamer my entire life, and I've always wanted to write a book. But I doubted myself. Who would want to read something I wrote, listen to a story that I have to tell? All of that changed when I read this. The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli. My poor wife has to hear all of my ideas and watch me fail in spectacular fashion every time I go for them, usually costing us some money. But she cheers me on and supports me regardless. And a year or two ago for Christmas, she got me that book, The Prince. But it came with a card. And forgive me, it's been a few years, but that card said something along the lines of, "For my husband, who's always trying to take over the world." When I read that book, I found it fascinating. It didn't turn me into an alpha male peddling courses or some guru teaching you how to control and emotionally manipulate others. No. But it interested me enough to finish it. And then I wanted to read another book. That's when I stumbled across this guy right here, Dungeon Crawler Carl. And here I am, taking all bets on whether or not I'll finish the book in the comments. If you guys are interested in following along with my quest to bring this book to publication, or interested in my thoughts on books, manga, or video games, subscribe. Like the video if you liked it. I'm out!